like a good move. Yes!
From the Opepco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is OU Basketball with David Ubben. I'm Jenni Carlson. David, a tough week for the Sooners. A couple road games, which we suspected would be tough, but close but tough losses at A&M, at Texas Tech. What stood out to you about this week for the Sooners?
Well, I think Tony Crocker said it best after the game. I mean, he just said he felt like they let two games get away. Just especially the way that they played those games. You know, they were up late against Texas A&M. They were up pretty big early against Texas Tech. You know, they came back from both those games losers. It's just two tough wins that they really felt like they needed to get, really felt like they could get. They didn't get either of them, mainly because of how they executed down the stretch. You know, they went almost 4 minutes in both games without scoring at the end of the game, and you're just not going to win games doing that in conference or really any time.
One of the guys that was missing on Saturday that they played without at Texas Tech, Willie Warren, wearing a boot on the sideline. What's the prognosis with Willie?
Well, he should be back for Wednesday. They're playing at home against Iowa State. Pretty good team, but a game that they got a really good chance to win, and they've played well at home. As far as Saturday, they missed him. They needed another guy that could create his own shot. A lot of their offense was just giving the ball to Ty Mason Griffin, giving the ball to Tony Crocker, and having them create shots, driving and taking pull-up shots. They really could have used a third scorer. It's tough for a lot of the other guys on the team, like Cade Davis or Stephen Pledger, to create their own shot. And they missed Willie there, but it didn't really kill them. They still played really well in the first half, played great defense. It just kind of all fell apart in the second.
Let's talk a little bit about Tiny Gallen for a second, because he's physically okay, but mentally it seems like right now he's maybe not where he needs to be. Talk about his play, and it sounds like Jeff Capel's a little bit frustrated with Tiny right now.
Yeah, I mean he benched him to start Saturday's game. I think he's benched him a couple times in this practice just before I believe it was the Gonzaga game. He's just frustrated that Tiny is not producing like he could and getting the effort like he could. He's played great in a couple games. I think he had 13 and 18 against Oklahoma State. But then at the same time, Capel said he felt like he was content with that, and he felt like it could have been more. I think Tiny's played well in spots, but I think Capel's just frustrated that he's not maximizing his potential. And the biggest thing was the foul trouble. He can't produce numbers if he's not on the floor. He picked up 2 quick fouls against Texas A&M. Did the same thing again against Texas Tech. And earlier in the season, he's gotten in foul trouble in games, and he's gotten some questionable calls. But I thought really all 5 of the fouls that he was called for, he eventually fouled out. I thought all 5 of them were all fouls, and a couple of them were just foolish fouls that he just had no business committing. His final foul that he fouled out on was an entry pass that he really had no chance of getting, but he reached over the back of his man, and it's just as a freshman, he needs to understand that his team needs him on the floor, and I think that's what Capel's trying to get through to him with.
All right, good stuff, Dave. Stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.